Hello, welcome to this lesson on language techniques. So if you are joining this lesson today, it's obviously because you are wanting to refresh your knowledge on some language techniques in English, or maybe you've never come across them before, okay? So the learning objective is to identify and craft your own similes, metaphors, and personification. Okay, you need to be able to identify them for the reading sort of sections and skills on the exam, but you also need to be able to craft your own for the writing section as well. Okay, so let's go through this one then. So I want you to think about how much do you already know? Okay, so we've got similes, metaphors, and personification on the left here with the numbers, and on the right there are the descriptions, okay, as to what they are. And I want you to see if you can match these up. So pause it for a moment and then I'll show you the answers. Okay, right, I'm going to show you the answers now. So you should have been able to match up, okay, 1 and B. So we've got similes using like or as to compare two things. Then we have 2 and C, so metaphors stating something is something else, even though it isn't literally. And then lastly, personification is giving human characteristics to something non-human. So I hope that that makes sense. Don't panic if you weren't sure about matching those up. Maybe take some time now to pause the video and write down the definitions for each of these, okay? And then we'll go through each one of them. Okay, let's start with similes then. So similes use the words like or as to compare two things. So just some examples here. Again, you can write these down or you can just listen, either is fine. So he was as cool as a cucumber. Okay, the reason why this is a simile is we're comparing two things. So we've got this person here, and we're comparing this person to a cucumber. Okay, and we've got the words as. Okay, so he was as cool as a cucumber. That is why it's a simile. We also have life is like a roller coaster. Okay, again, so we've got life is being compared to a roller coaster. And what do we know about roller coasters? They go up, they go down, sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're fast, usually fast. So we have here like, okay, to kind of interlink these two things. So this is what a simile is. So please do get these down if you're not 100% sure. And I've got some tasks here as well. So those of you that have obviously got your pen, your paper, or maybe you're using your laptop, something like that, I want you to be able to complete these similes. So I've started them off, okay, and then I'll put some pictures on here as well for you, so you can have a look at those to sort of inspire you to finish these similes if you're struggling. If you can think of something that's not related to the pictures, even better, okay? If you're getting a little bit more creative, a little bit more imaginative. But essentially, I just want you to feel confident on what similes are today and have a go at writing them down and practicing crafting your own. So we've got he ran as fast as. So you need to think about something that can be really fast, okay? She moved as slow as. So something that moves slow. What could she be compared to? And then we've got the jewel shone bright like. Think about what might shine bright. So I've got some images on here to help you as well. Okay, and also an ambition task. So see if you can craft any of the similes of your own, okay? And then hopefully by the end you'll have a lovely, lovely bank of knowledge here. So pause this because I will be moving on to metaphors next. Okay, so metaphors then. So metaphors state something is something else, okay? Even though it isn't literally that. Okay, and I'll show you some examples so that this makes sense. Again, you can write these down. So we've got here, he was a sloth. Now, if we're talking about a human being, okay, he's not literally a sloth. A sloth is an animal, okay? But stating that someone is a sloth is trying to convey this image that this person is either really slow or really lazy, okay? And notice here we've got he was a sloth. It might also say he is a sloth. So that's where metaphors state something is or was something else, okay? Even though he's not literally a sloth. So it's just trying to create this picture here. Okay, then we've got life is a roller coaster. So rather than having the simile version of life is like a roller coaster, we can have life is a roller coaster, okay? We know it's literally not a roller coaster, but it's trying to convey a certain image. And again, I'll do lessons on analysing techniques and words as well. But just for today, really, I want you to understand what metaphors are, get some examples down, and be able to craft your own. Okay, so we're stating that life is a roller coaster. So I want you to complete these metaphors. So we've got two here. So we've got her heart is made of, again, it has to be something that's not literal, okay? So something that can't really be true, but it's trying to convey a different idea. And we've got the city was a, so again, I've got some images to help you and I've got an ambition task here. So use these images if you're struggling. And for an ambition task, what I would like you to try and do is transform the similes from the previous slide that you created into metaphors. So if you put he ran as fast as a cheetah, you could transform that and put he was a fast cheetah. State that it is something else, okay? That would make it a metaphor. So it's a really nice win just to transform these similes into metaphors there. So again, pause this slide if you are doing this task, but if you are doing it, excellent stuff. Okay, let's have a look at personification then. So personification is giving human characteristics to something non-human. This is one of my favorite language techniques. So I've got some examples here. The tree waved in the breeze. Okay, the reason why this is human characteristics, okay, is we've got a tree that's not human. Okay, so remember, something non-human, a tree, waved in the breeze. So we give human characteristics, and waving, okay, is something that we can do. So the tree waved in the breeze. It just personifies it, makes it sort of feel like it's more alive, okay? So a lot of writers will use these amazing techniques, so just be mindful of that. We've got another one here. So we've got the grey clouds began to cry. So the grey clouds, okay, clouds, they're non-human, began to cry. Okay, that's something that we do. The writer could have just said the grey clouds poured down, right? Or it rained. But instead they've chosen to say the grey clouds began to cry. So, we'll do lessons on analysis and why it's effective, but essentially this is what personification is. So we've got this sort of verb here of crying, we've got the verb of waved, something that we can do as humans. So again, get these down if you want these examples. And then I've got some tasks here as well. So personify these sentences. See if you can fill in these blanks here. So the roller coaster, something on the tracks. Think about a verb that might be human, a human-like verb that could link to that sentence. The sun, something down on the people below. Again, another verb here. Okay, verbs are a really nice, easy way in to personify something non-human. And again, I've got an ambition task, so write another sentence personifying something nature-based. And then I've got some images just to inspire you for this task here if you're struggling. Okay, so again, just pause it if you are doing it. Make sure you've got your notes down. Okay, so if you have understood similes, metaphors, and personification so far, excellent. If you've been doing the tasks, even better. I want you to now practice identifying the knowledge. Okay, so see if you can match up where is the simile, where's the metaphor, and where is the personification. So have a read through and feel free to pause it because I'm going to show the answers in a second. Here, I'm going to show the answers. So we've got 1B, so let's have a look. So we've got simile to this one. So he felt as fragile as a house of cards. Okay, so we've got this fragility, okay, of this person being compared to the fragility of a house of cards, okay? So again, and we've got the words here as, so it could be like or as that link these two sort of images into the sentence. So he felt as fragile as a house of cards. So that is a simile there. If you got that, big well done. Okay, metaphor then. Let's have a look. This was this one. So if you know Katy Perry's song Firework, okay, there's loads of metaphors in that song. So feel free to Google the lyrics, see if you can identify some more of those. So you are a firework, okay, stating that someone is something that they can't literally be. So if I think about a human can't literally be a firework. They are a human being. But we're stating that someone is something else, okay? It's for imagery, it's for effect, and again, we'll have lessons on the analysis of that some other time. Okay, then we've got personification. So this is this one here. So the forest whispered in the night. Hopefully, you identified this is personification because we've got this verb here of whispering, something that we can do. So it makes a forest seem like it's alive or human-like. Okay, so if you got these, brilliant. If you've not, but you want to write them down, pause it now and then write these ones down because they're good examples. Okay, so now we are thinking about the application of the knowledge. Okay, so being able to understand it and identify it is one thing, being able to apply it is another thing. So I want you to have a go at this task, okay? And I want you to write a short description based on this image. So we've got a beautiful scene here of a beach. Obviously, you can get imaginative if you think that there's some crabs there or something else, or someone's having ice cream, that's fine. You can use your imagination, but this image is just there to inspire you. So I've got a success criteria here for you. So obviously today's lesson is about language techniques. So I really want you to be able to write a short description, including at least one of each of these techniques. So a simile, remember, comparing two things using like or as, a metaphor, stating something is something else, and personification, giving something non-human, human characteristics. And for an ambition task, thinking about the previous lesson, if you've had a look at that, I want you to include some powerful word classes. Okay, so verbs, adjectives, adverbs, to enhance your description. And if you're not sure what these are, I do have a lesson on that in the back to basics section. So please do check that out if you're unsure. But essentially, we're practicing now crafting and writing these amazing techniques. So again, pause this video, give it a go, and please do feel free to share in the chat if you've got any sort of work that you want me to have a look at. I'll do my best to get back to you on that one. Okay, so just to go through the review then, okay, if you've done the work or you've listened carefully or you've been writing loads of notes, think about this learning objective, okay? Can you identify and craft your own similes, metaphors, and personification? So again, little review here. If you are writing this down, feel free to rag rate your score. So red, no confidence, amber, some confidence, and green, lots of confidence. Okay. So do this for similes, metaphors, and personification. And again, this might be something that you might say that for similes, you feel like kind of in the middle, maybe metaphors you'd struggle with, and maybe personification you're really good at. Okay, so this is your reflection. If you're not in the green, I want you to think about why you're not in the green. Okay, what could you do to further enhance your understanding and knowledge? Okay, it could be researching a little bit more, practicing a little bit more. Okay, so please do think about that. And then obviously, just if you've got any questions or you'd like to leave examples of your work, then please do that as well, because I do like reading students' work. It's good to be able to give some feedback. I know that if you are at school, you know, you don't always get the one-to-one feedback that you really sort of need and want. So I'll do my best to get back to you if you are leaving your work in the chat or if you've got any questions. But I hope that that makes sense, and thank you so much for joining.